Oh, hey guys. This video is going to be much better news than I thought. Don't mind me, got a little lip numbness right here, so talking's a little weird. Been getting a lot of dental work done while I've been at the house. Still working on it, so that probably won't be done for another year. But it's the car's fault. Got some, Floyd's. That means truck is in the shop and truck is not out of the shop. Home time isn't quite over yet, but I figured I'd get some videos going, get them ready. So remember I was telling you, I was saying it was something like 5,000 to 7,000, but I had to guess, top of my head, ballpark price range. Yeah. Well, there's 4 warranty jobs in here, and a lot of the expensive stuff I was gonna pay for it was actually warranty. News to me. Also, some of the stuff I was gonna pay. Oh, damn lighting. Some of the stuff I thought I was gonna pay for, like I was actually going to the shop for, and I know I usually had to pay for it. Some of that became warranty work too because shit breaks. The truck needs it because of that shit breaks. It's a win-win. Because like for example, alignment on the truck. Oh, that's lighting, dude. The light. Showing my rookiness here. Channel rookie. Don't you know how to set up proper lighting before you start recording? No, I don't. But an alignment on a big truck is like $330 minimum. Well, about $300 minimum. Then to pay $300. What would you do with an extra $300? Alright, so we're gonna read this. Go down this list again, like we did last time. Crankcase, right? So the guy's crankcase is leaking. There's the warranty work right there. And the truck is hot as fuck in the truck. Side note, truck's been sitting at my where I park it at home. Everything's been turned off, so I had the door open for ventilation. See, hands out the window or door. There's no door. But it's still hot as fuck in here. It's been 100 degrees here in Wyoming the last couple days, so it's a little toasty. Yeah, that tube, that little black tube that goes from the block to the separator. I guess that little, pretty much the engine block. There's a tube that connects to it to a grommet down to like a little black plastic case. I didn't know what the black case was called. I guess it's called a separator. That tube was leaking. And it was more seeping, but because nothing was dripping on the ground, it was just leaking all over the fucking hose, seeping. So yeah, they removed the tube sensor, removed the wiring and all that, and just reinstalled a new tube and but removed separator, installed new with new gasket. So they removed new separator, everything's new up there. That cost me nothing. Air compressor. Because I was getting shock work done and they're going to be down there anyways, I figured why not spend an hour labor. Because, even though I know what to look for, it doesn't mean I will miss things. There could be a silent leak, etc. Or I could see there could be a tiny crack that I didn't notice that they may notice. Have an extra set of eyes. I'm okay with paying, an hour labor for that. So I asked them, since the shock's getting replaced, to go ahead and respect the airbags all the way around. They're perfectly fine. There's no air leaks, weathering damage. Great. A little $70 peace of mind. That's what that was. $70. $70 well spent. Suspensions or shocks, right? I don't know why they call it an air compressor. Do the air system, but airbags was the other one. Now we're going on shocks. I originally said I was going to get all 6 shocks done. Well, I guess JCT didn't even ask me if I wanted that done, so they just replaced the 2 that were leaking. Both of the fronts on the drives. The right passenger side one was damn near bottomed out. That thing had leaked all the way out, so there was no more fluid in it. The left one had just started leaking. So those are replaced, got new shocks. They're shiny, very, very shiny. Yeah, so back to steer axle shocks, cab shocks, drive axle shocks. So they inspected all the shocks, including the sleepers. The sleeper ones are they're very tiny. They're like a third of the size of the actual normal shocks. Found front drive axle shocks were starting to leak, so just changing only front drive axle shocks. All the shocks no damage and are not leaking. Remove the old shocks on the front drive axle and install new shocks. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure he meant shocks. He just forgot a letter. How's that? So far on that front page, I mean, there's 3 jobs on the front page. Shocks. Downside about dealerships is you're pretty much going to, $70 half hour labor. I forgot. Their hour labor is $150 or $140, so half hour labor. Downside is they seem to only charge in half increments, like half hour increments for labor. But that was a half hour all the way around for shock suspension inspection. So $70, and $140 right there in labor. The shocks were 2 of them were $200. So I paid $340 there. I'm rounding up to the nearest dollars to save everybody else some math. I don't know. Steering wheel. If you guys remember, I was saying the steering wheel was off to the left about half an inch. Eyeballing it. Like, obviously it wasn't, very good, but eyeballing it. I was right. I'm pretty sure what happened, it hit a hard enough bump, and something happened, and it just moved the steering, got it all out of line. I've hit a few hard bumps where I've been on the phone with a buddy, and he's like, holy fuck, because he heard the whole truck try to break apart. Tech verify steering axle wheels are straight, so, that's how you do it. Oh, steering wheel was 2 teeth off, so yes, it was off to the left. It is now straight. I've also test drove it. I also asked them to test drive it too and verify it. Don't give it back to me if it's not fucking fixed. Same thing with alignment. Same thing with the steering wheel. They did it this time. Okay? I thought I had hub seals. I don't know. It was hard to tell. Like, I didn't know if grease got soaked in or what. Like, had a leak or something got spilled on it or whatever. But I asked them. I was pretty sure I had a hub seal leak. I did. A verified wheel seal was leaking on passenger side steer axle, so that that one I was talking about. So I don't know. I just got a text. So they replaced both. Good roll. Generally, our hub seals really only expect them to last about every 100 to 150,000 miles. Anyways, if they last more than that, fucking amazing. But they're cheap. When I say they're cheap, two hub seals. Let's see. The front wheel set, okay, for 2 was $74, so $38 a piece. So after draining all the hub oil, taking off the goddamn this lighting, the whole old hub seal, replacing a new one, everything. It was costing me way more labor than parts. If I had to shop myself, I could probably do this myself because it's really fucking simple. I've seen it done when I was stuck in a parking lot because I was in California and I was like, dude, my hub seal was leaking really, really bad, and they sent our side out. That sounds like I was in a shitty area. Oh, let me try to fix my lighting. Every time I move this paperwork, that thing fucking goes herp. So that was $457. Notice I said the hub seals was $38 a piece. Some of the shit I will start doing when I get when I buy my house and I'm able to get like a shop or at least some form of where I can park the truck on my property. Some of us will do. Some like that I can do. The only thing is I need a jack. But I mean, air tank and a jack. Yeah. Oh, that steering wheel thingy was $140. So an hour labor, which, whatever. Can't really do that myself. I mean, I could. I just don't know if I had the tool underneath it, the lock. There's a little nut inside here, so I don't know if I had that tool. So there was a warranty or a recall on this truck that I only found out about a few months ago, May-ish. No. Where the fuck did I find out about it? Yeah, I don't know. I found out about a few months ago. Battery cables, pretty much. Especially if you remember one of those videos I talked about with this truck. Didn't want to start up. Like, it ran fine for like fucking months straight, and all of a sudden he did a 10 when it started up, and it was like everything toggled over, and it had the whole dashboard was lit up with Christmas trees. And it took like a couple days for that, like, kind of work itself out. Breakdown said maybe battery cable was loose. Would have made sense if I recently done battery work, but my battery work was done over a year ago at that point. Or a year ago at that point. So this was back in June. Okay. Yeah, back in June. Yeah, so I got new battery cables. That recall had not been done. I now have new battery cables, which for those of you who don't know what the battery is on a Freightliner, technically all the same truck, but how to get to it in the Freightliner, they're all the same. It's Kenworth the same thing, Peterbilt the same thing, although sometimes they might be on the passenger side, usually below the driver's seat. But they'll be right above the steps, right behind the steps. Like the Freightliner's door, just pull your door down. It's magnetic. It's magnetized. See, I can't say that word. Fucking tongue. And the gums. My mouth no longer knows how to speak. Not like I know how to speak before, but especially now. And that was free. Because it's warranty work. And that was quite a bit. They used 30 zip ties. At least they zip tied it up pretty well. Hopefully. You never know. They could just put it all in one spot, I guess. Okay. Now we'll get to my stuff, the normal stuff. Wow, this has gone up in price. Full PM. So fluid levels were inspected, light operation, steps, mirrors, they checked everything, gone over basic shit. Suspension, even though so all it's just like I ended up paying for it twice, like probably. Because they like wheel seals. Why did they did this one first? Anyways. So air filter, although did they change that? Is that the engine one they finally changed? Because I don't think my engine one was changed last time. It was done at TA last time. I don't think they did that. I asked for Shell. I wanted to try Shell. Shell full synthetic, so it was a T6 or whatever. I guess he said no. Doesn't avoid the warranty, but whatever. So, although maybe. I don't know. It's under here as oil 1300 Supreme, I guess. 15W40. By the way, you ever wonder how much a Freightliner takes in oil? 38 quarts. Think of that. Your car takes 5. Like my car takes 5. 38. A pickup. What? Takes like 10? 10 to 15, somewhere in that range? 38 quarts of oil. So, this big old fucking, little tubs like that. 38 of those? Or what? about 7 quarts or gallons? Insane. If you ever want to know how much oil's in this fucking truck. Yeah, that was $13.69 a gallon. So, actually pretty good price. That's bulk price though, so it's kind of cheating. That was $150 in oil alone. Very cheap. Considering my car takes about $50 on the oil. About 40-ish. I buy more of the premium shit. They greased the whole truck. That was $2.45. Love it. Yeah, I could do it myself, but it's hard to get underneath this truck. Especially underneath. They grease everything. Washer fluid, they put a gallon in, and they actually charged me almost retail price, $3.61. I'm not sure. Oh, it's an oil filter. But I don't know what TS is. I'm assuming it's brand. How much an oil filter? $28.68. 45 filter. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe the big engine one. That was, I'm pretty sure that's it, because it was 115. 115.68. Filter element, air, so... Actually, I remember having having an issue with this last time, knowing which one is which. But who knows? So I'm not gonna remember that one. So they broke my oil dipstick. Anybody who knows anything about trucks is actually pretty common. They're like this long with connection in the middle, female to male, and it's very easy for snap. So I had to pay for that, even though I didn't break it, because when I pulled it out, it was just fine. But oil dipstick was $20. Whatever. I'm not gonna nitpick over $20. Fuel filters. So there's two, 125, 48. So total, now 127. That's gone up a little bit in price. It's because the labor got increased. It's quite a bit more over a TA and all that, but makes sense. 539 of that was parts. 350 of that was labor. So at least it was more parts than labor this time, and not $70 in part, or $100 in parts, and $400 in labor. Okay, so normally the next thing I just did, people do not actually do. You can tell who cares about their equipment if they're doing the little shit. Power steering fluid. Get a service from power steering. 200 and trucks. I have the battery kill switch off, so I don't know. 222,000, something like that. It's somewhere in the 220,000 range. So it's not like I have to do it. Actually, yeah, I think I was a little late on it. Actually, I think I found out about it late. Alright, so pretty much I had them drain it, filter change, everything, new fluid, new filter. Normal power steering fluid. That's how you normally change it. New filter, new fluid. Okay, so that was... Oh, I forgot something on that bit. But power steering service, hour labor. Not bad, actually. I thought it was going to be a little bit more. The filter, $38. Fluid, 1 quart, so a gallon. Because you want to know how much power steering fluid's in this truck. Only a gallon. Which I think my car takes a quart, I believe. Sounds right. It's very, I don't know. Sounds right. I'm seeing it. It's a little tiny tank. $202. Paid more in this one in labor than parts by 2.5 times. APU PM was done. When I gave the truck to them though, and I said, hey, I need an APU done, I got the filters, I had everything on the passenger seat. Filters for the air filter, fuel filter, oil filter. So they don't do that. I was like, damn, I guess I'll have to do an extra stop and, in a couple months and do it myself. Well, guess they ended up doing it. Okay then. And actually, not bad. Hour and a half of labor, not bad. Yeah, so like I said, APU, in case you ever want to know how much that does, is a 2-stroke, 5.5 quarts. So a gallon and half a quart. 15W40. So that also takes the same engine oil, or same oil as your engine. They share the same oil. So if you ever want to know if you need different oil, no, same oil. And if you can run full synthetic just fine, actually I would recommend running full synthetic. If you, the 2-stroke, especially your reefer, does not like heat, and it is extremely hot back there, it'll be easily 20 to 30 degrees hotter than the ambient temp around it, between the cab and the trailer, that is. So if you're running a reefer load, APU is running, and it's 100 degrees outside, it's going to be like 130 back there between the truck and the trailer. So yes, I would highly recommend running full synthetic in there if you can. It also helps in the winter. Fast startup time. Less worries about it choking himself out or whatever. Always run full synthetic fluids. That's my motto. That was $210. I paid more than that last time I got a service at Thermo King in Cheyenne. So, win-win to me. Okay, so this video is already 20 fucking minutes long, and I'm still going through all this, and I'm actually not getting that distracted too much. Have them, again, I do this about once a year, right before winter. Same thing. I don't do it by mileage base, I do it by time frame, usually a window. Usually around August, September is when I do this. and that was air compressor. Well, air dryer. They have us all under air compressor. Pretty much change out your dry filter and make sure the air dryer is working. Because I do not drain my tanks. You should not have to drain your tanks if your air dryer is working properly. If you gotta drain your tanks, usually means there's something going on with your air dryer. Contrary to popular belief, that is how that works. Yeah, so all they did is drain the air from the air tanks, moved the old air dryer, installed the filter. But actually, there was no rust this time, so props. To be fair, last time I ran through a hurricane, so a lot of fucking water. This time it's been a pretty dry year for me, pretty dry. So I didn't expect anything to go wrong with that. The filter was 103, 140 in labor, 243. There we go. Now this is something also that a lot of people don't know if they could do. So the truck is now starting to really get into this life. It's still relatively young. I want to see how the engine's doing. I sent an oil sample out. Actually, after I leave here, I'm gonna go see how that's doing. That was $95. Most of that was like half-hour labor, $70, $26 for the oil sample. What's the oil sample for? Tells you if you got metal in your engine. Tells you if you got too much, carbon, iron, etc. It tells you the health of your engine. The only real way to see how healthy your engine is. This. And I will definitely let you guys know since I know. I'm actually going to go swing by there because it's at Cat, and that's literally like a mile away from me. So, that's all I'm going to do. Now, I did get my tires rotated. I asked them to cross them. They didn't. They just rotated the same axle. Minor annoyance. There's reasons why I do X, especially since I have a brand new fucking tire. I need to get that off the same axle. But alright, whatever. I don't need to tell you how what they did on a rotation. Y'all should know, especially with the same axle. That was $210. Not bad. About $50 a tire. Well, $55 a tire. Oh man, I still got the numbness. Now, here's the real fun stuff. I said I have 4 warranty things, right? Battery cables. Fuck, what was the first one? Oh, crankcase. Here comes the last 2. These ones would have been These ones would have been expensive. You guys remember, I told you I needed kingpins over a year ago. DCT said no, and they've been on back ordered. Well, when I dropped the truck off this time, I asked, can we go ahead and order kingpins? But I asked, do I have to pay for kingpins if they're on back order? I was told no. It's like, let's order that shit. Cool. I didn't want to pay for a part if I didn't know it was going to show up or when it was going to show up. I didn't know. So, not having to pay for it, and they pay for it up front, and I pay for it only when I get it, works. But, surprise, I had kingpins within a week. That surprised the shit out of me. So, obviously, supply chain, some of the issues starting to lessen. I'm starting to get more parts. Now, I will rate this to you because this is a lot. There's a lot of shit that happened in front of it. Pretty much the whole front end is pretty much new. Bushing the seals on all knuckles, meaning pivot points. Installed new bushings and used reamer. I don't know what the reamer is. Maybe something to fucking break shit up or whatever. On old bushings. On still bushings. There's typos all over in this place. With slide over kingpins. Used reamer on all bushings until, like I said, having to translate typos and shit. Until bushings will slide over kingpins snug. So, they gotta be tight. Because my steering. Can't have loose steering. Installed new thrush washers and installed upper and lower knuckles on both sides. If you guys are paying attention. And that's how my whole steering's over there is becoming brand new. Especially on the front axle. Especially on that one side. And used red Loctite and mounting bolts and spider bolts. Removed old wheel seals and washed hubs and parts parts washer. I didn't know they had a parts washer. Cool. Dried off hubs and installed new wheel seals on both hubs and installed hubs and torqued to 300 foot-pounds. If I needed new wheel seals, I guess I paid for that then? I guess. Okay. I guess I didn't pay for it anyways, even though. Yeah, alright. Installed brake pads and used torch to remove tie rod ends due to being seized. Meaning that kingpin was so worn out, it had seized together. We'll explain why my steering was a little floaty. Yeah, it was getting a little bad there in the last half a year, 6 months. I mean, there's only so much you can do with the parts on back order, so. Measured out old tie rod, so they took the old one to the new one and then cut it and reinstalled. Installed tie rod and torque the spec and installed new cotter pins. Installed new drag link with new cotter pins, grease all zerks, meaning grease points, on steering components. Everything checked out okay after that. There's no price. Fucking glitter. But what they do, let's break this down. I don't know how, like for example, I don't know how much labor this is. They don't tell me. I'll know the parts, but I won't know the labor. So, I can't tell you the labor. I can't tell you how many hours. I wish I did, because I could do the math in my head then. Bush bearing service kit. On alignment. Like I said, I needed to pay for alignment. Warranty work, gave me a free alignment. Love it. So that was one bush bearing service kit, one alignment, two castle nuts, one tie rod end. Yeah, said it backwards. One drag link, one U-bolt washer. Both my tie rods are new, so I got 2 new tie rods, one on each side. Like I said, finish holding the front end. See how long it lasts this time. One flat washer, 2 cotter pins. This is what I was expecting was going to be expensive, because that is a lot of labor. Probably 3 to 4 hours of labor, if I had to guess. Hey, if you guys have ever had this done, am I accurate? 3 to 4 hours of labor? I feel I'm up there, pretty close. This one, I thought was a leak, but considering it was right beneath the grease plate, the fifth wheel plate, I thought maybe, okay, it was a lot of grease on there, so I said maybe it's just, grease dripping out. Should have went with my gut. My gut is usually always spot on. I'm very in line with my intuition. I have a very good intuition. A driveline leak in the yoke, meaning right beneath the fifth wheel plate. The seal was bad, so yes, it was seeping and dumping grease out. So I was right. Should have gone my fucking gut. But warranty work. Didn't pay for a damn thing. I didn't have that on the list either. But good thing they did an inspection and honest dealership here. And though I don't like this dealership, at least they're honest. They could have easily fucking just ignored it or did something. But this shows at least they're honest. So I guess a great, nice way of knowing. So remove driveline cap screws. Remove driveline, remove the yoke of puller, removed old input seal, removed the dust shield from yoke, installed a new seal, installed yoke and yoke bolt and stripe, installed the driveline back to normal. Back how it should be. Not normal, because normal was leaking. Now, what do I think about all this work? I drove 6 miles from the dealership to here. Let me just fucking tell you, 3.5 miles. Let me just tell you, the truck drives. Granted, it's bobtail. I don't have a trailer with me. It drives different. When I've had floating steering for at least a year. It drove stiffer, more. I don't know. It drove more nose to the fucking road type thing instead of doing this. And there was some wind. Yeah, I'm bobtail, but anybody knows that, believe it or not, bobtail, actually, wind does affect you. Actually, quite easily. Because all your weight's in the front. So, I mean, you still lean. Also, the steering's stiffer. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that I fucking got all that shit done. So, I knew most of it, but oh, I didn't tell you the overall price. 30 minutes in. My bad. I forgot the overall price. So I said 5 to 7. Ready for this shit? 3105. Well, 3106. Let's round it nearest dollar. 1820 in labor. 1037 in parts. 38 in miscellaneous, meaning getting rid of old parts and shit like that. So grand total on that alone, $28.95. $200 shop supplies. Don't know what those would be, I guess. Maybe like cleaning off the hub seals and all that, the rims and all that, because they, you can't have fluid all over the truck, because that, especially when you go through a DOT shop. Like, if you get a DOT inspection, they're looking for shit like that, right? They're looking for shiny rims that aren't from being washed, because that could mean you got a leak somewhere. Or streaks on the rims, and you got a leak. So, they're doing shit like that. Tax, $10.50. Love Wyoming taxes. Haul off in 6% tax rate. 3106. Rounded up. To the nearest dollar. It says 3105.73. If you guys are paying attention, go back and watch the last video. I had more work done this time, and it was cheaper. Because of 4 of those shouts of warranty. Alrighty, guys. You guys stay safe out there. Catch you next time. Bye!